Good evening and welcome to This Week. I'm Anna Rakambatra. Today we'll bring you the latest updates on key developments that happened this week. Our first story takes us to the 9th session of the Intergovernmental Commission of Mongolia and Kazakhstan, where trade, economy, science, technology and cultural cooperation were discussed. The 9th session of the Intergovernmental Commission of Mongolia and Kazakhstan took place in Almaty City, chaired by Mongolia's Minister of Finance Jakhlan and Kazakhstan's Minister of Information and Social Development Kudra Ali. The meeting aimed to strengthen bilateral ties and collaboration between two nations. The session commenced with a comprehensive evaluation of the current state of trade and economic cooperation between the two countries. The participants exchanged views on the expansion and strengthening of bilateral relations in various fields, including transport, logistics, agriculture, culture, tourism, and information technology. Both parties expressed their commitment to enhancing trade and economic cooperation between Mongolia and Kazakhstan. They agreed to collaborate on diversifying the range of exported and imported goods while creating a roadmap for intensifying trade, economic and investment cooperation between the two nations for the years 2023 through 2025. It was a very productive meeting. The President of Mongolia warmly welcomed us, and the heads of two states of the two countries have given suggestions and tasks to activate cooperation in many fields between the two countries. As part of Kazakhstan's annual visit to Mongolia, it is possible to attract Kazakh tourists to Mongolia and increase in tourism between two countries. For example, in Kazakhstan there is a shrine of Tuchi Khan. We rebuilt this shrine as a complex. Therefore, the traffic between two countries can increase by attracting Mongolian tourists. The current single weekly flight of Huno Air to Almaty is not enough. In the future, Ulaanbaatar to Astana flights need to be increased. Agricultural cooperation emerged as a crucial aspect of the discussion. To this end, the attendees highlighted initiatives such as testing Kazakhstan's early maturing and drought-resistant grain varieties in Mongolia, joint scientific and research activities, and the export of meat and meat products from Mongolia to third countries through Kazakhstan. Additionally, the implementation of joint projects and the delivery of Kazakh white-headed cattle from Kazakhstan to Mongolia were agreed upon. In order to effectively carry out these tasks, a working group for cooperation in the field of agriculture under the Intergovernmental Commission was established. Transport and logistics issues were given special attention, recognizing their importance in trade and economic cooperation, particularly for landlocked countries. Both Mongolia and Kazakhstan pledged to support each other and actively collaborate to effectively eliminate transport and trade barriers, especially those hindering access to sea routes. In the realm of environmental conservation, Mongolia's Billion Trees National Movement and Kazakhstan's initiative to plant 2 billion trees paved the way for cooperation and the exchange of experiences in tree breeding. As Mongolia has declared 2023 through 2025 as the Visit Mongolia tourism years, the two countries resolved to expand and develop cooperation in the tourism sector. Leveraging the advantages of direct flights and mutual visa-free travel, they aimed to increase the flow of tourists, participate in joint international tourism events, and exchange information and experiences in the areas of ecotourism and ethnic tourism. The 9th Intergovernmental Session of Mongolia-Kazakhstan signed a protocol covering 14 sectors of foreign trade, economy, science, technology and culture. The main feature of this meeting is that since the current Mongolian president visited Kazakhstan in 2019 while being the prime minister, they discussed the results of multilateral cooperation agreed upon at that time, discussed what to pay attention to and what to focus on it in the future. For the past 3 years, online meetings have been held due to the geopolitical issues. The figures for bilateral trade and economic cooperation are different. The figure from our side is $38 million, while the figure from the other side is about $100 million. Due to the gap of these years, these figures need to be reviewed and consolidated. Kazakhstan is the closest landlocked country. We believe that it is possible to double all economic, trade, historical and cultural relations. Scientific and archaeological research, as well as the preservation and protection of nomadic heritage, were emphasized as areas for collaboration. Recognizing their historical and cultural ties, Mongolia and Kazakhstan expressed their intent to expand and develop cultural and humanitarian cooperation. The strengthening of the Center for Mongolian Studies at the International Turkish Academy in Astana, cooperation in international promotion, encouragement of collaboration between history museums, joint exhibitions, research endeavors, and expert exchanges were among the measures agreed upon. Fostering stronger ties between entrepreneurs from both countries, the establishment of the Business Council of Mongolia and Kazakhstan was decided upon, with support for cooperation between the chambers of commerce and industry of the two nations. In terms of strengthening the legal basis of relations, intensified dialogue was agreed upon to reach mutual agreement of forthcoming documents between Mongolia and Kazakhstan. The establishment of these documents is expected to take place during an upcoming high-level visit. The session concluded with the signing of the protocol on the outcome of the Intergovernmental Commission session. In a momentous decision, a total of 62 members of parliament, constituting 91.2%, voted in favor of the complete draft amendment to the constitution. This landmark approval paves the way for significant transformation in the country's legislative landscape. As a result of the approved amendment, the Mongolian parliament is set to expand its membership. This expansion will have far-reaching implications for the upcoming 2024 parliamentary elections.
According to Article 21, Section 1 of the Constitution, Parliament consists of a single chamber with 126 members. The parliamentary elections will follow a mixed system where 78 members will be elected via a first-past-the-post system and the remaining 48 members through proportional representation. The final deliberation on the draft law regarding the process of aligning with the constitutional changes was carried out and ultimately approved. Additionally, the draft law concerning budget projections also received final approval. Following the approval of the constitutional amendments, the Speaker of Parliament, Santashtar, addressed the plenary session. In his speech, he expressed gratitude to the members of Parliament and the working group for their contributions. He highlighted the efforts of the parliamentarians in engaging with their respective constituencies and considering public opinions during the extensive discussions. Throughout the third debate, concerns regarding the frequent alterations to the Constitution were raised. This event marks the beginning of the realization of the changes made to the 2019 Constitution. One significant outcome of these changes is the passage of the law on transparency of public information. This alteration has brought several hidden issues to light, including the exposure of scandals involving various state funds and that were concealed for many years. Experts note that by increasing the number of members of parliament, the concentration of power vested in a single individual is diminished, thereby allowing for the inclusion of representatives from diverse sectors of society to work in parliament.
On Tuesday, May 30th, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia, Batsitsik, held official talks with the visiting Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kyrgyz Republic, Kulubayev. The meeting took place in a warm and official atmosphere, reflecting the importance both countries place on their bilateral relations. During the talks, the ministers conducted a comprehensive evaluation of the current state of the relations and cooperation between Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan. They engaged in fruitful discussions covering a wide range of areas, with the aim of further expanding the relationship to multiple domains.
Minister Batsitsik emphasized the fact that Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan have maintained friendly relations and cooperation for the past 30 years. She affirmed her commitment to enrich bilateral relations with economic content and intensify cooperation based on shared characteristics of both nations as landlocked developing countries. Foreign Minister of Kyrgyzstan, Kulubayev, was accompanied by the Kyrgyz Minister of Agriculture, Janibekov, Deputy Minister of Economy and Trade, and other officials. Minister Kulubayev highlighted the wide range of possibilities for mutually beneficial cooperation in agriculture. The parties agreed to support economic cooperation between the two countries with a focus on facilitating the export of meat and meat products from Mongolia to Kyrgyzstan and other Central Asian countries through Kyrgyzstan. Within the framework of the years to visit Mongolia, the ministries discussed possibilities for expanding cooperation in tourism, leveraging mutual visa exemptions, and reviving direct flights between the two countries. The Mongolia-Kyrgyzstan Friendship Grove project is also planned in Irten City as part of the 1 Billion Trees national campaign initiated by the President of Mongolia. This project will symbolize the joint commitment of the two countries to protect the environment and combat climate change. Other topics discussed include the regularization of the mechanism of consultations between the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, the exchange of young diplomats, and the training of diplomats in foreign language courses at the Diplomatic Academy of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Kyrgyzstan. Both countries have actively cooperated in international and regional fields, and they expressed their commitment to deepening cooperation within the framework of the United Nations and other international organizations. Following the official talks, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mongolia Patsitsik held a press briefing. During the briefing, she highlighted the Kyrgyz side's decision to open an embassy in Mongolia during a state visit of President of Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, who is set to visit Mongolia in July, upon the invitation of President of Mongolia, Khurelsukh. The Mongolian president met with the Kyrgyz Republic's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kulubayev, on May 30th. During the meeting, President Khurelsukh emphasized the significant potential for trade, economic, cultural, and humanitarian cooperation, and the importance of elevating bilateral relations to a new level. He expressed confidence that President Japarov's upcoming visit to Mongolia during the Naadam Festival would further enhance political dialogues and expand cooperation between the two countries. Last year marked the 30th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan, which played a vital role in strengthening relations and fostering closer cooperation between the people of both nations.
Moving on to our next story, a new initiative has been launched to promote internet etiquette among children and parents. The What is Your Child Doing on the Desktop initiative aims to raise awareness about responsible internet usage with an increasing number of children experiencing delays in speech development. Psychologists emphasize the importance of healthy communication and interaction between children and parents.
A recent study shows that 96% of children in Mongolia aged 10 to 18 spend 2 to 3 hours online per day, 3 times higher than the world average. In today's digital age, it has become increasingly common to see children spending significant amounts of time behind desktop computers. It is essential for parents to understand what children are doing during these hours and how it impacts their overall development. Technology offers numerous benefits but also poses potential risks and challenges. We plan to conduct interesting seminars and workshops to increase the internet literacy of parents through this campaign. Rather than handing out some informational flyers or brochures, IT specialists and content creators will collaborate with us on this initiative. The internet has become an integral part of children's lives, offering opportunities and challenges. It's crucial for parents to actively engage and guide children on their digital journeys. By fostering a healthy balance between educational pursuits, creative expression, monitored social interactions, and mindful media consumption, we can ensure that children harness the benefits of technology while minimizing its potential risks.
In other news, Mongolia's Ministry of Digital Development and Communications announced a transparency operation named GLASS. As part of the GLASS operation, Minister Ochril revealed the disclosure of information from 6 special funds and currently under investigation. This initiative demonstrates the government's commitment to fighting corruption and ensuring transparency.
The Ministry of Digital Development and Communications, led by Minister Ochril, has carried out an anti-corruption operation called SHIL, which involves the disclosure of information from 6 special funds. These funds are the Public Service Obligation Fund, Vocational Education and Training Support Fund, Budget Stabilization Fund, Health Sector Supporting Fund, Health Insurance Fund, and Future Heritage Fund. Information related to 4 of these funds, as required by the law on transparency of public information, can be accessed on the website shilin.gov.mn.
The first fund is a Public Service Obligation Fund managed by the Ministry of Electronic Development and Communications. It is funded by 3% of the net tax profits from licensed entities regulated by the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission. The primary objective of this fund is to support the installation of communication networks in remote areas and improve existing telecom infrastructure. Operators receive financial assistance from this fund as they are unable to independently finance the laying of fiber optic cables in these areas. The fund has successfully connected 1,229 out of 1,639 bags to 3G and 4G networks from 2009 to 2022. Only foursomes are yet to be included in the fiber optic cable network. The second fund is the Health Insurance Fund. From 2018 to 2022, the fund's budget has been prepared and made available on the website. By the end of 2022, the fund had paid out a total of 1.7 trillion MNT to 3,092 health institutions. Detailed information on the amount of funds received each year by these institutions has been uploaded in list format. The grantees of the Health Insurance Fund include public hospitals, pharmacies, and private hospitals covering various levels of healthcare institutions. The transparency of this fund's information aims to facilitate monitoring and ensure that the funding reaches the intended target group effectively. Thirdly, information regarding the Future Heritage Fund has been made publicly available. The Future Heritage Fund law was approved in 2016, and starting from 2017, the fund began collecting the specified types of income outlined in the law. In 2022, the fund allocated 1.4 billion MNT for children's savings. Additionally, specific debts transferred from the Human Development Fund were registered and fully paid off in 2019 using centralized funds, as per the Ministry of Finance Order number 58 of 2017. Income and expenditure details are accessible for open data, again ensuring transparency and visibility into the fund's financial activities. Fourthly, we have the Budget Stabilization Fund, which falls under the Ministry of Finance. This fund serves as a financial instrument to ensure the medium and long-term balance and stability of the consolidated budget, as well as to implement a balanced budget regime. By the end of 2022, a balance of 663.2 billion MNT was transferred from the state budget to the Budget Stabilization Fund in accordance with the budget financial law of that year. This transfer was made to cover the budget deficit and maintain financial stability.
Furthermore, information regarding the allocation of a total of 310,315 land plots has been disclosed. This disclosure was prompted by the fact that commissions were received in public areas without proper construction permits, leading to numerous complaints. The provided information includes details about the governors of the capital city over a 20-year period, as well as from governors of other areas.
Let's turn our attention to environmental and conservation in Mongolia. A unique recycling practice has emerged, repurposing all containers into refrigerated storage units. By converting all containers into refrigerated storage units, herders are effectively recycling materials and reducing waste. This creative approach not only provides a second life for the containers, but also contributes to these sustainable practices.
Recycling and repurposing containers have become increasingly popular in recent years due to their versatility and durability. Instead of letting old containers go to waste or ending up in junkyards, converting them into functional storage units helps minimize environmental impact and promotes sustainability. Old containers can even be converted into refrigerated units for storing meat and dairy products.
The storage unit's temperature can be regulated. For example, if a herder wants to store a raw meat, it can cool down to negative 30 degrees below Celsius. We can also regulate the temperature so herders can store dairy products.
This refrigerated storage unit is the result of a collaboration between Mongolian and Japanese scientists and researchers.
We are collaborating with Dongao province herders. As a test, we purchased 300 kilograms of meat in late summer, stored it and sold it in winter and spring. No other refrigerated storage units have been built, and this is the only model.
Not only does recycling old containers help reduce the consumption of new materials, but it also saves the energy and resources required to manufacture something new. It's a practical and eco-friendly way to make use of existing resources and contribute to creating a more sustainable future.
Herders are pretty familiar with the solar panels. They know how to charge their phones and watch TV using renewable energy. The purpose of this project is to bring this use of renewable energy to a new level by allowing them to use that energy for somewhat larger and more important, such as this storage unit. 12 to 165 watt capacity solar panels are needed to power this unit. I think the storage unit can find its use in less populated, remote areas close to the border where there's a poor infrastructure. It will make people's lives easier.
By repurposing old containers into refrigerated storage units, people are actively participating in the recycling process and making a positive contribution to environmental conservation. Even though the model made with Japanese researchers might be expensive, Mongolian researchers are sure that some materials can be adapted to significantly bring down the cost of production.
That concludes this week for today. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you for joining us. Good night.